Okay, same date, November 19th. Go a little bit about news so that way you guys can have a little brief information on how does that works and what is when it comes to um, when to see live trades or which ones are the ones that we look at and so on. So real quick, you guys remember, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you guys, and then if you guys want to talk, just unmute yourself, okay? So real quick, do you guys remember on gold? Okay, this happened on gold, and I talked about it. So I don't know if you guys remember about this move right here that we had this rapid move to the downside, right? And I told you guys any rapid move is shortly lived, right? And what happened right after? It went to the upside. Why? Because this was a press conference, okay? It was a conference where people, okay, remember information where they're talking about certain things on live television. What happens? They can go ahead and move the market. And that's usually what happens. What rapid moves tend to not last long, okay? So those are things that you want to look at. Are you going to upload less? Yeah, they're uploaded. Yesterday's are uploaded already, and these ones are gonna be uploaded right when we get off. Okay, so when there's rapid moves like this, okay, it's because there's news events. They're talking about certain things because they're pricing in or they're seeing what's going on in the market. Okay, so these are good to see. Like news is like this, they're good to see. Jerome Powell's like all these news people, the ones that are like that move the market, those are the ones you guys want to see, especially FOMC meetings. Okay, FOMC meetings are good to see because they just help you out. They help you out a lot. You guys can see if you guys go over here. Scheduled to 8 times per year, 3 weeks after the federal fund rates is announced. So what is this happening? Okay, what are they talking about? They're talking about what's going to potentially happen with federal funds, right? Rate cuts, rate hikes. So if they sound like they're going to do the rate cuts, they can either price in, right? If they sound they're going to do rate cuts, and this could potentially go to the upside. So they're pricing in, right? So there are things that you guys need to take into consideration. Also, when you guys go to the news events, you guys will see over here on the left side. Okay, look at this over here. Okay, these are the central bank rates where the market is currently at the moment. So central bank rates on CAD is at 1.75, USD is at 1.75, NZD is at 1, AUD is at 0.75, GP 0.75, Euro 0, and so on. Okay, so these is where the rates are actually located at the moment, right now. Okay, so you guys are going to do your research upon where the rates are currently at the market, what it is that they're talking about, and what can potentially happen. Okay, so it's very important to take in consideration these movements when it comes to news events. Now, what are the news events that I look to have or I look to pay attention to? The movements I look to pay attention to are primarily for data release would be CPI. Okay, CPI is for data release. Also, another one that we look for is rate cells, okay, for data release. What other one can we look for potentially data release that we would pay attention to? Gross domestic product, okay, GDP. Okay, that's another one. And one of my favorites that moves the market, rate statements. Okay, so rate statements, these move the market a lot. Now, I'm very excited for next week. Next week's going to be also a great week. So like this week, we have phenomenal risk reward trades. And next week, what do we have? We have rate statement for AUD. So what does that mean? We're going to be looking into AUD, okay, throughout the end of this week and starting next week. Okay, we're going to be looking for potentially seeing what the market's going to do. Okay, does it look like they're going to do a rate cut? If they are, what's going to happen with this? This is going to continue on tumbling, right? So why not start entering and pricing in as the banks are doing as well? Okay, so entering in these areas of interest, points of liquidity, points of imbalance, and so on. So that when there is a rate cut, we catch that move to the downside. Okay, so that's one thing I want you guys to take into consideration. Why it's important to understand what news events are important to actually pay attention to, right? So currently, what's happening on AUD? We're at 0.75. Okay, AUD usually finishes off at a 0.50 or 0.75 a year. Okay, so I can potentially expect a rate cut. But what's another thing I can look and research on here. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go over to our filters, right? Let's take off all these pairs and let's only leave AUD and USD, okay? We're taking off all the pairs and we're only leaving those pairs, right? So now we know the data that has been coming out on AUD and USD. Why am I leaving the USD? Because USD is a major currency that also relates with AUD. So they have some type of correlation. But going into that, if you just want to go ahead and just do AUD, you can do so. You can just go ahead and delete the USD, okay? And then just base yourself off of AUD information. So for example, if we have positive information on AUD, what am I expecting for the market to do? I'm expecting for the market to do its rallies, either to the upside, okay, if we have positive information. So let's go ahead and go real quick. Let's check it out from last month, right? Let's go from the first and check it out from last month. And now that we have our filtered in, so we're just going to keep on pressing more and more and more until we get to where the market is currently at the moment, okay? So we already have all the data of October. We're going to have all the data of November and so on. Okay, so this is information that you guys want to take in consideration, right? So RBA Governor speaks. What were they talking about? How did the market sound? Okay, and so far right now, look, retail sales. Okay, negative impact, right? That's bad. Okay, what did they talk about monetary policy? So you guys can like go back, track, and see like what they were kind of talking about. Did it sound dovish? Did it sound bearish? Did it sound dovish or hawkish? What was sounding so far? Okay, unemployment rate, right? So unemployment rate went down, which is good, okay, because there's not that much unemployment. That means there's good production, there's good economy, but it didn't go as much, okay. So anything below 5.2 and below is good, okay. 5.3 and above, it's not doing so well, okay. So we'll take into consideration that it's at the prime good, okay, prime low. So if it goes up at 1.3. Then we're in the bad zone. So right now, we're clearly, right now, we're just standing on top of it. I wouldn't take it as good. I wouldn't take it as bad. I would take it as it's okay. Okay, so going with that, we have a bad, we have it's okay. And then moving forward, okay, CPI, what's going on CPI? So CPI stayed the same and over here stayed the same, right? These are the ones I'm taking in consideration. Not so much this one, but also I'm taking about the data, major data, right? Stay the same. So we have two. This one stayed the same. This one stayed the same. The other one's it's okay, and then we have a bad, right? Retail sales. I told you guys retail sales I take in consideration. Look how much it dropped. 0.2. That's bad, right? That's bad. Rate statements. Cool. We stayed at 0.75. Perfect. That means from now on, from here forward, what's gonna happen? Okay. As you guys can see, we had over here. While I was telling you guys, we had data that was bad, that was okay, stayed the same. And then also was bad. So what does that happen? It was either going to drop or it was going to stay the same, right? We had a potential for it to drop, but it stayed the same. Why? Because we have equilibrium. We have the same amount of data that keeps the things in balance, okay? And that's the reason why we stay the same. So moving forward, what's going on? Let's see at the data, okay? Unemployment rate, bad data. What did I tell you guys, okay? So look, it went up to 5.3. And as you guys can see, I told you guys, I didn't even look at this. I told you guys over here, 5.2 is okay, but it's the barrier, like it's the brief, and it can go back to 5.3, and that's exactly what it did over here. It went back to 5.3, so it's bad data over here as well. So we already have two that are bad data, right? And if we continue on moving forward, okay, right now we're over here on Tuesday, so we already have bad data. So what can I expect for the market to potentially do? Okay, so far with the information that the market has given us, it can go to the downside. So all you guys gotta be looking at is look at the information, the monetary policy meetings. Okay, look at the live meetings, see what they're talking about, see if they're dovish or they're hawkish, and depending off of that, then you guys can continue on scaling in to potential trades for AUD CAD, AUD USD, and so on. So my prime factor, my prime focus is AUD pairs. Why? Because we know that there's potentially good news coming up and within a week. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back just how it was. Okay, so that is something that I need to take in consideration when it comes to trading news. That's something that I need to pay a lot of attention to. What are the facts that are coming out? What are the major information data that I need to look at before news comes out? Also, FOMC meetings, okay? FOMC meetings, you do not want to be in the market because these move a lot, okay? FOMC meetings, you do not want to be in the market because the market moves a lot. So with that said, take a look at what's happening with FOMC meetings, pay attention, put your stop loss to break even, or even get on profits. Okay, so recap, I look at CPI, GBP, PPI is also a main factor that you can look at to understand what's happening in the market. If you guys want to know a little bit about what these things are, what they mean, you just go ahead and press the little folder and goes right here, producer price index. Okay, so this is producer price index and then consumer price index. So these are majors. PPI and CPI are major information. So that's something that you guys want to look into. Okay, so that's a quick recap of what I look into when it comes to news events. I'll go more in detail later on one of our other sessions, but I did want to let you guys know a quick recap of what it is I look for when it comes to understanding how to read the market, when to go on Bloomberg's Live, when to just see the data, and what to expect on the market. Okay. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap this one up. We're gonna be looking at AUD CAD for potentially falling opportunities, but we do know that there's imbalance right here, and then there's a point of interest, an order block that can come up to, and also a point of interest that we're looking into. Okay, so take those in consideration, scaling with AUD CAD and AUD USD, or even Euro AUD. Okay, Euro AUD. So we're gonna have to be looking into all these pairs to see what's gonna happen. Okay.